What's up, y'all? IWontWin checking in, and today we'll look into the career of one of the most underrated players in NFL history. NFL Untold Stories, London Fletcher. London Fletcher was born May 19th, 1975 in Cleveland, Ohio. Fletcher grew up in a two-family home that included his 4 siblings, mother, grandparents, aunt, and 4 cousins. And sometimes there would be up to 15 plus people living in the house at once. Unfortunately, at a young age, Fletcher would experience family tragedy. When he was 11, Fletcher's older sister was raped and murdered at the age of 17, and the case would go unsolved. As a result, Fletcher's mom turned to drugs in order to cope with the loss of her daughter. And primarily an A student, Fletcher would see his grades drop due to the traumatic situation. Later in life, Fletcher realized that he used that situation as motivation to always stand firm in the face of adversity. Fletcher's first love was basketball, and he was pretty good at it. While in the 8th grade, St. Joseph High's basketball coach Mike Moran spotted Fletcher playing against college students at Cleveland State one day. Coach Moran saw how talented he was and told him to apply to St. Joseph's. But due to Fletcher's poor grades, he was denied admission as a freshman. He would eventually get back to being an A student and was admitted into St. Joseph's the following year. At St. Joseph, Fletcher was a 2-year starter at point guard on the basketball team and helped lead his team to 2 state titles. As a senior, Fletcher would play his only year of football at the running back position. He was so good that year that he actually received Division I scholarship offers to play football. But despite a breakout year, Fletcher wanted to pursue his dream of becoming a pro basketball player and decided to accept a scholarship offer to play basketball at St. Francis College, a Division I program located in Loretto, Pennsylvania. During his freshman year at St. Francis, the 5'9", 220-pound Fletcher averaged 3 points, 1 assist, and 1 rebound while playing 11 minutes per game in the 1993-1994 season. Midway through that season, the team's trainer noticed that a good amount of the team's injuries were caused by Fletcher during practice due to his aggressive play on the court. Things didn't quite work out at St. Francis. Fletcher left the program and was back in Cleveland in the fall of 1994. By that time, Fletcher was 20 years old, but he still had the itch to play college basketball. And his former high school basketball coach, Mike Moran, was now the head basketball coach at John Carroll University, a Division III program located in Cleveland, Ohio. So Fletcher and Moran worked things out. He was admitted to John Carroll University as a transfer and played the second half of the basketball season for the Blue Streaks. In the fall of 1995, he joined the John Carroll football team where he played middle linebacker, and coaches were blown away at how good he was on the football field. In his 3 seasons playing football, Fletcher was a 2-time first-team All-American, recorded 386 tackles, 37 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, 3 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. In his senior year alone, Fletcher was named Football Gazette's 1997 Division III Linebacker of the Year. He was a team captain, recorded 202 tackles, had a game in which he had 29 tackles, and led the Blue Streaks to their first Division III playoff win in school history. After graduating from John Carroll in the spring of 1998, Fletcher knew he had a good shot of making it to the NFL. Leading up to the 1998 NFL Draft, Fletcher spent time training and working a full-time job. Fletcher performed his pro day at Kent State University, where at 5'9", 240 pounds, he ran a 4.3 40-yard dash. After having a good pro day and talking to a few scouts, Fletcher was confident that he'd be selected in the draft. Unfortunately, day 1 and day 2 of the draft came and went, and he was not picked. After the draft, the St. Louis Rams offered him to sign as an undrafted free agent. Fletcher agreed to the deal but was curious why the team didn't just draft him. One Rams executive told him that he was just too short for the position and knew that no one would select him. That reason would be one of the many things that he used as fuel throughout his career. Fletcher survived training camp and would earn a roster spot on the Rams. That season in 1998, the Rams finished with a 4-12 record. Fletcher would play mainly on special teams his rookie year, but he did get to start in the final game of the regular season. In 1999, the Rams culture would change for the better. The team signed quarterback Trent Green in free agency, who was coming off a season where he threw for 3,000 plus passing yards and 23 touchdowns. They acquired running back Marshall Faulk from the Indianapolis Colts, who was coming off a Pro Bowl season. Wide receiver Isaac Bruce was going into the season healthy after only playing 5 games in 1998, and they selected Torry Holt with the 6th pick in the 1999 draft, who was a top wide receiver prospect in his class. Unfortunately, quarterback Trent Green suffered a torn ACL in the preseason, and former AFL star quarterback Kurt Warner would step right into the starter spot. The Rams would go on to form one of the greatest offensive attacks the league has ever seen and was nicknamed the greatest show on turf. Fletcher was now the starting middle linebacker, and for the season, he recorded 89 combined tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 1 safety. The Rams defense held opponents to 15 points per game, and the offense put up 33 points per game, which led the league. St. Louis finished the season with a 13-3 record and went on to defeat the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl. The following season in 2000, Fletcher would have a dominant year, recording 133 combined tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, and 4 interceptions. Despite a great individual season performance, the Rams defense gave up a league-high 29 points per game to opposing offenses. The team finished 10-6, made the playoffs, but lost to the New Orleans Saints in the wildcard round. In 2001, Fletcher recorded another 100-plus combined tackle season, which led the Rams defense. After a big drop-off the previous season, the defense was back on track. Coupled with the Rams' high-powered offense, the team found themselves back in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. In a close game, the Patriots won on a game-winning field goal by kicker Adam Vinatieri on the last play of regulation. That Super Bowl win would be the start of the New England Patriots dynasty. After playing out his contract with the Rams, Fletcher was looking to re-sign with the team. Despite having room to bring him back, the Rams front office decided to pass on Fletcher. And that decision would hurt Fletcher because he felt that he had done enough on the field in his first 4 years to prove to the organization that he deserved to stay. Fletcher went on to sign a 5-year, $17 million with $4 million guaranteed contract with the Buffalo Bills that offseason. During this time, he was able to get his mom clean off of drugs and moved her into an apartment in Buffalo. In his 5-year stint with the team, they never made the playoffs due to the AFC East being one of the toughest divisions in the league at the time. But even as a Bill, Fletcher was still putting up spectacular numbers. And he started to notice a common theme with being named the Pro Bowl alternate instead of being selected to play in the game. Teammates and players on other teams would be confused on why Fletcher was never selected to play in the Pro Bowl, despite being one of the best in the league at his position. After playing out his contract in Buffalo, Fletcher signed a 5-year, $25 million with $5 million guaranteed deal with Washington in the spring of 2007. That season, at the age of 32, Fletcher led Washington's defense with 129 combined tackles. But unfortunately, tragedy would strike the organization. On November 26, 2007, Washington free safety Sean Taylor was shot by a home intruder and passed away the next day. Players and fans around the league were shocked and saddened by the horrible news, and Washington would play with heavy hearts for the rest of the season. The team finished with a 9-7 record, made the playoffs, but lost to the Seattle Seahawks in the wildcard round. In 2009, despite a down season for Washington, who finished 4-12, Fletcher would play in his first Pro Bowl in his 12th year at the age of 34. That year, he was also a finalist for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Fletcher was selected to play in the Pro Bowl in 2010 and 2011. In 2011, he led the league with 166 combined tackles. In 2012, he received the Bart Starr Award, which is given to a player who exemplifies outstanding character and leadership in the home, on the field, and in the community. Fletcher played one more year with Washington and retired after the 2013 season. Off the field, Fletcher has his own organization called the London's Bridge Foundation, which was founded in 2003, whose goal is to build standards of education, leadership, teamwork, health, and fitness in today's youth. In 2017, Fletcher had his number 3 jersey retired at John Carroll University. In 2019, Fletcher was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, as well as Washington's Ring of Fame. Currently, Fletcher is an NFL analyst for CBS Sports Network, where he provides commentary for pregame and radio shows. In 16 years, Fletcher was able to put together an outstanding NFL career. He was named Pro Bowl alternate 11 times throughout his career, but was eventually selected to play in 4 Pro Bowls. He's a Super Bowl champ, is second all-time in NFL history in total combined tackles with 2,039. After his first year starting, Fletcher never had a season in where he recorded less than 111 combined tackles. He played 256 consecutive games, which is 4th all-time in NFL history. And Fletcher started 215 consecutive games, which is the most in NFL history by a linebacker. He attributed his durability and ability to play through injuries to his teammates because he never wanted to let them down. And when you compare Fletcher's stats with Hall of Fame middle linebacker Ray Lewis, it's not if Fletcher will make it to Canton, but when. He was often overlooked, but Fletcher let his game speak for itself and gave 110% every time he stepped on the field. Thank y'all for tuning in. IWontWin checking out. Peace.